Hi there, thanks for joining me, welcome back to the channel. Well, as it's Christmas, I thought I'd put on a bit of a snazzy sort of Christmassy shirt with stars on it and try and perhaps do something a bit lighter, some light entertainment for those of us that are perhaps thinking of Christmases gone by. What's the expression he uses in A Christmas Carol? Christmas past, the ghost of Christmas past perhaps. Anyway, I thought we'd do some short, perhaps a sequence of very short vids that are perhaps just 10 or 15 minutes looking at some of these Matchbox kits that people seem to really enjoy, looking back at the nostalgic old kits of the past. So today we've got the Matchbox P-38 Lightning. Now this one is the orange range, so this is the sort of middle tier, so to speak, of the Matchbox range. You can see there it's got its original BITE-SIZE model shop price, £1, I think it was £1.86. And you've got the lovely, I think it's Roy Cross artwork. Sorry, that was Airfix. Roy Oxley, I should say. Roy Oxley's the guy that did the Matchbox ones. It just isn't signed unusually, which is very, very odd. But it certainly looks like his style. I've got a zero with its wing shot off going down in flames here. And it says on the front, a flaming Japanese Zero spins down, destroyed by the fighting skill of Major T.B. Maguire, who was awarded, albeit posthumously, America's highest award for valor, the Congressional Medal of Honor, for his 38 combat victories in his P-38, and obviously he was killed, so a bit sad really. Clearly an American hero, but there we go. So this celebrates his aircraft, and you can see on the side that typically we've got the usual three-colour kit, so they show the three-colour kit finished if you don't paint it, and says that no painting is necessary if you don't want to be bothered. On the end we've got a replication of the artwork again, which is always nice. On the other side, of course, we get some adverts for further Matchbox products, and as we've seen before, I actually got this one. One other one I might do a review on actually. We've got that one, the Messerschmitt 410, and I've got the Stuka as well, so that's another one we might look at. I haven't got the Swordfish, I must confess, so ignore that one. So, on the back, we have got, true to form, it's one of the window packs, and I've just taken the sprues out already just to save time. So we've got here the markings, and it's got some quite impressive markings. Look at the artwork for the nose with all the kills on it. There's quite a lot of kills. No wonder he got the Medal of Honor. There must be 2 or 3 dozen. Incredible. But it's a 38, isn't it? Yeah, there you go. 3 dozen plus 2. You've also got it showing the artwork in that way, because of course it's a twin boom aircraft, so the booms get in the way. It's not visible when you look at it from the side. You've got to look at it further in, back toward the wing spar here. And then, as you just come out a bit, and then you can see we've got the traditional, as I say, the window style box. Obviously, Major Maguire was the 431st Fighter Squadron, and he was based in Dutch New Guinea in October '44. Or we've also got, interestingly, the 55th Fighter Squadron, Fighter Group, 343rd Fighter Squadron of the Air Force, US Air Force, based at Marston in Kent on the Kent coast, 1943-1944. So these aircraft obviously were haranguing the Germans, crossing the Channel and bombing and strafing up the railways in France, attacking Luftwaffe air bases, etc., and generally causing mayhem, no doubt. And the Germans were very, very scared of this aircraft. They nicknamed it the Forked Tail Devil, because obviously it's a very distinctive looking plane. It was very, very high performance, and it could take on the Focke-Wulf 190. Whilst it couldn't turn quite as quickly, it was so quick. It would arrive, shoot up the FW-190s, and then leave. Like a bit like a mosquito, really, in the blink of an eye, and be gone. They weren't quick enough to react, and they were really, really heavily armed. So if this caught on your tail, you're in a lot of trouble, basically. Anyway, we'll pop that over there, and we will get looking into the instructions. Now then, it's nice that we've got one of these original Matchbox instruction leaflets. And by the way, I should have pointed out that this is actually produced in 1974, and it actually says so here on just on the top of the artwork there. So it's 74 kit. And we've got the genuine original orange, because it's orange range, they always coloured the instructions accordingly. And it gives you a little bit of a history here. The aircraft was a little bit troubled when it first got developed. There was a lot of problems with aerodynamics, and tail flutter on the twin, the tail between the twin booms used to cause flutter and instability, and there was a few accidents where they crashed. You know, they sorted it out with these counterweights. They put counterweights top and bottom to make it have greater mass and give it better balance, and that seemed to sort the problem out. And he also mentioned that the RAF bought a number of these, but they didn't really use them very much. And I think it was felt that we then got the Mosquito, so we didn't really need it, so we didn't continue to purchase any more. But in the hands of the Americans, of course, it was a devastating machine, and very effective against the Luftwaffe and the Japanese in the Far East. Anyway, on the back of the instructions we have typical orange range. You know, it tells you about your stand, how it works, how to put it together, which is really nice that they include the stand actually, which we'll come to in a second. And then we've got this miniature small parts colour call-outs just explaining how to do your rockets and your pilot and bits of the cockpit, even though it's a very rudimentary one. Spinner, supercharger, propeller, and then your landing gear and your actual wheels and tyres. And of course it folds out in the usual way, and we've got the Humbrol colour call-outs there for your paint guide. And then we've got this typical 3-page, sort of A6 3-page style. So you got, starting with the pilot, who's going to sit on a very rudimentary looking seat, I have to say. It's like bums on seats, and that's about it. Not much else in the cockpit, there's no sign of the instruments. 2 cockpit halves come together, and then you put in your inboard side of the wings and the canopy. I'd leave the canopy off till later, but anyway. Then you build up your engine front intakes and the props and spinners. And of course you're doing 2 of all these. You're repeating every one of these processes because there's 2 lots. And then you're building your boom with your supercharger intakes. And again, 2 of those. And then you finally bring it all together here. Bringing the wings in, the central fuselage with the inner wing. Then your booms, and then your outer wings, superchargers, and your tail section in the middle. And then we round that off with the wheels, tyres, gear, and we've got drop tanks and rocket rails, which you put on here right at the end. There's quite a lot to do actually there. There's quite a lot, relatively quite a lot of parts for a fairly small orange range kit. Here we have one of the lovely Matchbox stands. Late lamented stand. Nice one, isn't it? This looks brand new, that does. And they have this sort of panel on the side, and you'll see in a second when we get to the decals that you can put a decal down the side that says Lockheed Lightning on it. Quite why all the other modern kit makers can't put a stand in it like this, I really don't know. And it's interesting when I've been having premieres of some of these vids that there's been people commenting and saying, why don't they put a stand in it? I don't know. I really don't. It drives me mad. Airfix even have the cheek to put in the instructions. In one of them, I think it was the Hunter, I think 3 times they mentioned that you can buy the stand. I can even remember the part number, part 1006. Sold separately. No, we don't want it sold separately. Just include it in the kit. Then you can have it in flight, you know, come on. Especially when it's a smaller kit. I mean, obviously, if it's something at 32nd scale or 24 scale, we don't need it. But for the sort of 48th or 72nd, why not? Why would you not have the thing included? It's just crazy. Anyway, moving on. Colour, we've got one clear part, which obviously is the canopy. And I've got to say, it's rather nice, actually, the way they've done it. And apparently, this is the L variant. It doesn't say so on the box, but the P-38L. If we can get it to stay. There we go. Yeah, it's quite a nice little canopy, is that? It's pretty clear for, 46 years old. It's not bad at all. Looks quite nice. Now then, now we're in for a challenge. I'm just going to show its age here now. The decals. The decals have been around a bit, you know what I mean? Probably seen better days. However, if we look very closely, actually, underneath, They're not bad. I reckon these will work. If you very gently peel this back, it will come off. And based on one of the other old Airtics is the same age, in fact that was a 73, so it was a year older. I made it a couple of years ago and those decals stuck absolutely fine, no problems at all. So actually it's deceptive. I think they'd be perfectly okay. There's the little Lockheed Lightning decal I mentioned, which goes on the side of the stand. And then you get your stars and bars, so excellent. I can't believe it's still intact. Right, let's have a look at the sprues then. Let's have a looky and see what we've got. Now then. So this is like a pale, very unusual colour again, one of these strange colours, like a pale creamy with a hint of green I think in it. So you've got your outer wings, top and bottom. You've got your tail boom here. And then you've got inner wings, top and bottom. And, and the tail, the tops, sorry, the bottoms of the tails here. And one pilot. You look at this plane, you think of it being like a Mosquito that's going to have two men in it, but because it doesn't, it just has a single pilot cockpit right in the middle, which makes it light, of course, and one of the reasons it performed so well. True to form, the sprue has got zero flash on it, absolutely nothing. Cut this off the sprue, I'll bet you they'll go together like a dream. It'll be a perfect fit. Bob's your uncle. Next one. Now we've got the booms on the fuselage. So the fuselage is this rather fat little bit here which looks rather like engine nacelles, but in fact the engine nacelles are built into the booms. And we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, including the tail pieces. So it's an interesting colour. Again, no flash whatsoever here, completely free of any flash. And it's sort of a khaki green, isn't it, or an olivey green. And you've got your gear bay doors here as well. Supercharger intakes here. Looks really nice. Again, you've got very soft panel line detail, and there's no riveting, of course. But that, you know, this is 1974. I don't think we can expect miracles really. And then here we are. We've got the all the black parts. So you've got your intakes here for your engines. You've got your spinners, you've got your wheels and tyres, propellers, the nose is black there, and then you've got your rockets which go in your rocket rails, which is quite cool, and some nice drop tanks. So actually you've got a bonny little set there of weapons and good stores with the tanks, supercharger detail, and you've even got the balanced counterweights here. There. And these are the ones that go on the tail, to one of the things they put on it to try and help with the aerodynamic flutter problem that they had. But as you can see, it's a nice sprue that. It's got lots of details, plenty of good part count, you know. That's it. It's absolutely cracking, isn't it really? Nice little kit that is. I can't believe that I never had that when I was younger. I think the problem was I just maybe wasn't very familiar with the Lightning itself, to be truthful, and never got around to having one for that reason. But I think I missed out, because I think it'd be a nice kit to have that. Can't go wrong with a P-38 Lightning. Anyway, so that's the PK-118. So that's the orange range from Matchbox. I'm sure if you hunt around you might still be able to pick one up. Although I have to be honest, this particular kit I found quite rare. It took me a while to get a decent one that wasn't, hammered. The box is not perfect, a little bit dished, but still beautiful condition other than that. It's all bright and clear and not too much in the way of creases or anything. I was quite pleased to get my hands on it. So perhaps one for the stash for the future. And for those of you that have already built it many years ago, I say you're ahead of me. I bet you enjoyed it, because it seems like a really nice kit. Anyway, I say they're going to be bite-sized videos, nice and short. So there you go, that's the Matchbox P-38 Lightning. Hope you enjoyed the vid. If you did, give us a like, share and subscribe. Don't forget, ring the notification bell as well. And I'll be back with another similar vid on perhaps some armour and maybe one or two other aircraft and maybe some unusual vehicles from Matchbox in the not too distant future. In the meantime, enjoy the rest of your Christmas, and thanks a lot for joining me, and I'll see you again soon. Cheers, bye for now.